What's up, guys? Tactical Swede here once again. Thanks for watching. So, for the longest time I told myself I wasn't going to do one of these videos because inevitably it turns into a big shitstorm of people just yelling at each other and arguing, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. But lately, just hearing some of these arguments got me thinking, and I decided I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put my opinion out there and tell you why. This is going to be a two-part series. This video here, part one, we're going to just discuss the philosophy of what I believe and why I believe that. And then part two, we're actually going to go out to the range and do some practical testing. So what are we talking about today? How do you carry your weapon? Chambered or unchambered? I think you can guess my opinion. Let's get in it. Alright, so chambered versus unchambered. This battle has been raging since I can remember. Usually these arguments don't get anywhere. It's just, one side arguing with the other side. The reason I wanted to do this video is sometimes there's mid-liars that maybe don't really have an opinion, they're undecided, and a little bit of information can sway them one way or another. And that's really who I'm gearing this towards, because I know that I'm not going to persuade the other side to change their opinion. It's not going to happen. So obviously I'm a proponent of carrying chambered. I think that if you're going to carry a weapon unchambered, you might as well just not be carrying a weapon. One man's opinion. I just think that I think you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage. You're putting yourself at risk. Now, most of my videos, I'll never tell people that their way of doing something is wrong. I do my videos, I put my opinions out there based off of my experience, my training, and what works for me. And I'll tell people that, don't take my word for it, don't take somebody's word for it. Like, go out there and try things, test things, see what works for you, and go with that. If it's my method, great. If it's not, that's fine too. Do what works for you. But in this case, I kind of break that rule, and I'll tell people straight out that I don't think that carrying unchambered is a smart decision. Now, you could do it, but I will never agree with you, and I will tell you that I think you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage. All right, so what are some of the arguments that kind of annoy me? The number one argument that honestly pisses me off is the people that say carrying a chambered weapon is dangerous, it's unsafe. Complete crap. Provided that you are carrying a functioning, well-maintained weapon and you're carrying it in a quality holster that covers the trigger guard. Outside of that, that gun is never going to go off regardless. It's no more dangerous chambered than unchambered. It's an inanimate object. Nothing is ever going to happen with it until it's acted upon by you, the individual. So to say that a chambered weapon is unsafe it's crap, because the only unsafe variable in that equation is the individual carrying that weapon. If you don't carry in a quality holster, or if you don't train your draw enough to keep your finger out of the trigger before you're on target, you're the unsafe part of the equation. Not the gun, not the method of carry. The method of carry is perfectly safe, because that gun is never going to fire unless it's acted upon by the individual. So the individual is the unsafe part, and it's your responsibility as a safe gun owner to train to make sure that you're safe. I've said that before. You as the owner of that gun and the person carrying that gun should make sure that you're trained and proficient at handling that weapon safely, no matter what the scenario is. So to say that it's unsafe, I don't buy it for a second. I have no respect for people that say that the method is unsafe. Next up would be the people that say, I can rack around just as quick. First of all, no, you can't. You're adding a step which adds time. Now, even if you practice it every day as part of your draw, it still adds time. Now, you might be really quick at it, and you might be even quicker at doing it than somebody else that carries chambered. But the fact is that you would be quicker if you eliminated that step. It might only be a few tenths of a second, but you would be quicker. And in a self-defense scenario, I will take any time I can get. I will take 2/10 of a second. I'll take a half a second. However long it takes you to wreck that round and get up on target, I will take that time in a gunfight. No questions asked. Then the other, kind of along the same lines, is people that say, like, I'll never put myself in a situation where that extra time would matter. I'm not going to go into bad areas of town. First of all, crime has no boundaries. There's no guarantees that staying out of a certain area is going to prevent you from ever being attacked. Is crime more prevalent in bad areas? Sure. But I've seen crap happen in bad neighborhoods. I've seen it happen in good neighborhoods. I've seen crime happen everywhere. There's no boundaries. A criminal, if they see an opportunity, they're going to take it. It doesn't matter where they're at. So to say that avoiding a certain area is going to prevent you from being attacked, no, it's fantasy. So it doesn't matter if you think you have the time. People that say you have time, I guarantee you those people that think that way have never been to a good force-on-force training class. And I would implore you guys, if you've never done it, do it, just for the experience. It was an eye-opener for me, the first one I did. It's amazing to see how quickly things happen in a self-defense scenario. And I say it all the time, like, it's amazing how much time you don't have. And I always say it that way, because you don't have the time you think you're going to have. Everybody's got this fantasy that they're going to be walking around, they're going to see the guy in the trench coat eyeing them up, and they're going to know what's coming. It doesn't happen that way. In real life, it doesn't happen that way. A lot of times, you're going to be caught off guard because that's what the criminals want. They're not going to come at you straight on so you can see them coming a mile away. They're going to try to catch you off guard, because that's the way criminals work. You know, you're an easier target if you don't know what's coming. And criminals know this. So that idea of I'm going to see it and I'll have plenty of time, no, you don't. And please go take some force-on-force training. Hopefully it would open your eyes to how little time you really have. One class that I went to, there was two guys in the class that were adamant that they did not think that carrying chambered was safe, and they were never going to carry that way. And they basically said that we practice all the time, and yeah, I can do it just as quick as anybody else. So to prove a point, the instructors put us through a couple scenarios where we all carried unchambered, and we ran through the scenario. Everybody died. Everybody died. Even the guys that touted that, oh, I can rack around quicker than anybody else. Excuse me. Everybody died because you just don't have the time to add that extra step. As I've said before, there was a lot of scenarios where I didn't even get two hands on the gun and sight picture. It was draw, fire from the hip. You don't have the time to recognize the threat, make the decision, get up, get on target, and then add that step in there of racking around. You just don't have the time. So yeah, all these excuses, that it's unsafe and I got plenty of time and I can do it, I can rack the round just as quick as somebody carrying chambered. I don't buy it at all. I don't respect those opinions because it's not based on fact. As a matter of fact, the only reason that I actually respect for somebody not carrying chambered is the people that say, I don't feel comfortable carrying that way. I can respect that, because at least you're putting the onus on yourself. You're saying that you don't personally feel comfortable. That's fine, because you're not blaming anything else. You're not saying it's unsafe. You're not making excuses. You're just saying that I personally, with my level of training, don't feel safe carrying that way. I respect it. Do I agree with it? No, not really. I would say, to those people, I would say, you should train more and get more comfortable with whatever it is that makes it feel, that makes you feel like, it's not a safe way to carry. Train yourself on your draw and your trigger discipline. Whatever it is, train yourself to become more comfortable that you can carry that way. Because, as I said, I think an unchambered weapon, you might as well not be carrying a weapon because you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage in a self-defense scenario. All right, that's all I've got today for part 1 here. Part 2, stay tuned. We're going to actually go out to the range. We're going to take the timer out there, and we're actually going to test how much longer it takes to draw and fire chambered versus unchambered. We're going to see just how much time is added. I can tell you from experience, it's not a lot of time for me, but it's time, and it's time that I will gladly take on my side in a gunfight. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm almost afraid to say it, but let me know what you think in the comments. Inevitably, like I said, this generally turns into a big argument. I will say I don't have any problem with disagreements, differing ideas, but as long as those ideas are presented respectfully, the second name calling and stuff like that happens, I'm going to cut that off. And if it continues to happen, then you might not be welcome to make comments anymore. But as long as it's respectful, I have no problem with differing opinions on things. People are allowed to have their opinions. I just ask that they're presented respectfully. So yeah, hit me in the comments. I look forward to hearing what everybody has to say. Please, if you like what I'm doing, give me that thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button up there. Stay up to date with any new videos we got coming out. I got one coming soon that I think you guys are really going to like. All right, till next time, live life and have fun out there.